Hey there. Welcome into the Ben Maynard program. Thanks for being here. Uh Crisis averted. I'll fill you in a minute. Uh guess what? It's Friday night and we're live. We're live tonight. Isn't that great? Can't believe it. We're here. I honestly I can't even believe we got this show going. So look, before we get into it, we got some good stuff tonight. Good stuff this evening, but before we get into it, Um, I just want to remind you all that this program is available wherever you get your podcasts, wherever you stream them. Okay. Just search the Ben Maynard program. Boom, it's right there. Download it. Okay. Share it with all your people, and give me a 5-star review. All right. But we are live. So you're getting a good look at this right here. And it's on YouTube, right? That's what we do on Friday nights. When we go live, it's on YouTube. So, listen, if you're watching, please subscribe to the channel. All right. Hit the notification bell. Give me a thumbs up and leave a comment. All right. Let me see. Oh, and then you have to tell 1,000 of your family and friends about the Ben Maynard program. Last but not least, follow me on Instagram, simply Ben Maynard program, all one word, or on the TikTok, it's at the Ben Maynard program. All right. So there are plenty of ways to take in this show for your dancing and listening pleasure. And again, it is Friday night. We are live, and it's also Friday the 13th. Can you believe that? How crazy is that? It's so cool. I don't know. I don't think we've done a Friday the 13th episode ever. I don't think. I don't know. Who knows? Um, but we got some good stuff going on. As you can see, guess where I am? Guess where I am doing the podcast from this evening? Outside on the patio. And let me check something here. Let me check and see what the temperature is. As most of you guys know, I live in Southern California. And and it's a cool 58 degrees right now. Certainly nothing like some of you on the East Coast, or even in the middle of the country. Nothing like what you're dealing with out there and what you have been dealing with in the past. But I don't think any of you are recording or broadcasting a podcast from outside. So, I tried to, I was looking around. I'll explain why I'm out here on the patio in a minute. But I was going to light one of the patio heaters, and there's no propane tank in it. Okay, so much for that. And then I look over here, I look around, and I have 4 empty propane tanks. All right, beautiful, right? I have a fire pit over here to my left. I was going to light it, but I'm too far away. So whatever, you just deal with it. I'm shocked that actually, I was like a minute late. I'm shocked that I was even that on time, so to speak. Because you see this right here? Yeah, this is my hot cocoa. And I was making some, and 5 minutes before I'm ready to go, I'm mixing it. I screwed up. I had cocoa all over the kitchen, on the floor, on the island. It's all over the place. And I'm thinking, oh, this is beautiful. I'm supposed to be going on in 5 minutes. And so I had hot cocoa everywhere. So I was cleaning it up, and Catherine says, you got to go. And so she kind of finished it up and brought it out for me. So, it's pretty good. Not bad. Not bad for putting it together like 5 minutes before we're going on. Oh, there it is. And yes, just like I talked about a couple weeks ago on National Hot Chocolate Day, made with milk. And right there, extra creamy, extra creamy whipped cream. So I wasn't messing around. All right. So look, today is Friday the 13th, right? That is so cool. And I got some stuff to share with you in regards to Friday the 13th. But first things first, this is so, yeah, this is so cool. Today is World Radio Day. World Radio Day. And you know, I thought when I heard that, I thought, "Oh, how cool. World Radio Day. I'm gonna be doing the podcast tonight. I can share that." And I thought it would be like a big celebration of radio and like radio shows, radio talk show hosts, DJs, that kind of thing. No, it's like it's like the celebration of the creation of the radio itself. Oh, okay. Well, that's great, and thank goodness for all that. But I thought it'd be a little more fun, but it's not. Uh, uh, but in that being said, um, I have always had this fascination and this love of radio, whether it was listening to music on the radio and getting into, the various DJs, that kind of stuff, or whether it was listening to talk shows, even baseball on the radio. I mean, when I was a kid, I listened to more Dodger games on the radio than I watched on television, because back in the 70s and the 80s, um, probably up to the mid 80s, you know, the Dodgers, they weren't, there wasn't cable television until like the late 70s, early 80s. And so there weren't outlets to watch, baseball games, especially for the Dodgers. You could watch them on our Fox affiliate, like on Sunday morning, sometimes Saturdays, sometimes a game or two during the week when they were out on the road. So I would say out of a 162 game season, we probably got to watch maybe 40 to 50 games. No, maybe not even that many, because remember, half that season is out on the road. So yeah, maybe about 40, unless they made it to the playoffs or the World Series or something like that. So I did a lot of listening on the radio to the Dodgers, took in a lot of that stuff. And then, listened to talk shows, whether it was a sports talk show or just like a general talk show, um, that kind of stuff. Not so much political talk. Certainly, well, yeah, really not until maybe the late 80s, early 90s did like political talk on the radio start to become uh, like in the forefront. But anyway, so I just have always had a fascination with radio. You guys know that my radio heroes are Mark and Brian, who are both retired, not doing radio any longer, and have been for, gosh, like 14 years. But the greatest morning radio duo, like in the history of radio. That's, look, it's my opinion, but you know, I'm right on this one. So that is what, because of my fascination for radio, and then the inspiration that I got from Mark and Brian, that's really why I started this podcast almost 2.5 years ago. So anyway, so it's World Radio Day, and yeah, that was a long road to hoe, but it's World Radio Day, and it's nothing like I thought it was as far as the celebration of it. Oh well. But as far as like celebrity birthdays today, in 1910, on this day in 1910, William Shockley was born. And William Shockley helped invent the transistor. So there's a tie into radio right there. Maybe that's why it's called World Radio Day, because the guy who helped invent or create the transistor was born on this day. Maybe there's a tie in there. So, all right. In 1919, Eddie Robinson. You guys know that name? Eddie Robinson, College Football Hall of Fame coach. He was the coach of Grambling University. And he chalked up 408 wins. He's one of the winningest coaches in college football history. Eddie Robinson, legendary, was there for years and years and years and years. I got to take a sip of this delicious hot cocoa. It's so good right there, right on the hat. And I know I got to try to work something out. Get some glare on my glasses here, and the hat's casting a shadow over my face. So if you're watching live, of course, you're like, man, I can barely see you, Ben. But we'll work it out. I don't know. Maybe I'll turn my hat around backwards or something. And I normally don't wear a hat on the podcast, but I am today. If you guys watch the video, I put out just a short video on Wednesday of this week. I was at the dermatologist and I was getting some skin cancer removed off of my, hang on, let me take this off of my head. And oh, there goes my bandage. There goes my bandage right there. Just came off, taking the hat off. It's all messed up anyway. I don't think I can show you guys, besides you probably don't want to gross out. Anyway, but it's right here. It's not on the top. It's kind of towards the back, but kind of like where all your hair comes together right back here. And it's right in here. And when the dermatologist showed it to me after she had, cut it out, I was like, yo, I mean, am I going to have a bald spot there? I mean, she cut out, it's like a perfect circle, but man, it's huge. I'm trying to look for something that would represent how big around the area is. It's probably, I don't know. You can't really see right there. You can't see that. Anyway, okay. There's a button. I don't know if you can see that on the camera. There's a button on top of the hat, on the top of the cap. It's probably that big around, at least. It looks like it's larger than that. That's big. That's a huge chunk out of my head. So she said, no, I saved all your hair follicles. You're going to be okay. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. I can't afford to get bald. I don't have the right shaped head. So yeah, if you guys saw that on Wednesday, that's what was going on. But that's really kind of what's been happening this week. Let's get back into it. All right. Let's get back into birthdays. All right. I took the hat off. The hair's a mess, whatever. Okay. No more shadow on my face. I just look at it's a disaster. Boy, that hair is terrible. It's horrible looking. Okay, so also on this day in 1923, test pilot Chuck Yeager was born. Chuck was the first pilot to break the sound barrier. Yeah, you guys remember that? And then in 1944, former mayor of Cincinnati. You guys are thinking, okay, who's a former mayor of Cincinnati? And tabloid talk show host. There's a big hint right there. Jerry Springer was born on this day in 1944. Jerry Springer, remember? Jerry. Yeah, I mean, what was the guy's name? He was like the security guy. It was Steve, I think. Wasn't that his name? Breaking up all these fights. It was like you watch Jerry just so you could see people go across the stage at each other and meeting in the middle of the stage, start duking it out. And then Steve comes in and breaks it up and then, separates them. And then somebody says something, somebody looks at someone and then they're at it again. And chairs are being thrown, all kinds of stupid stuff. But yeah, so Jerry was born on this day in 1944. In 1952, I like this one a lot. Former bassist of Foreigner. You guys know that. One of my favorite bands of all time, Foreigner. Ed Gagliardi was born on this day in 1952. 1977. Former NFL wide receiver, 6-time Pro Bowler, and Pro Football Hall of Fame. I don't know. He's a member. Phew, I got it now. Yeah. So Pro Football Hall of Fame member also. Randy Moss was born on this day, 1977. You guys remember Randy, right? Let's see. He came up. I think he went to Marshall. Marshall College. Was that in like Virginia, West Virginia, something like that? I can't remember. He was drafted out of there with from the Viking, or drafted by the Vikings. Gosh, get it straight. And he played primarily with the Vikings, but then he did go to the Raiders, where it was disastrous. And then I think he finished up with the Patriots, where he won at least one Super Bowl with the Patriots. And but fine wide receiver. Yeah, I mean, big time player, Randy Moss. Let me take another sip here. It's funny when you have a guest, you can take a sip of water or whatever beverage you might have. You can get that in while they're talking. But when there's no guest, and it's just me, it's me and you, but you guys aren't talking back to me. So, it doesn't work out really well when I stop down to take a sip of my hot cocoa. Although that, I guess, for those of you who are watching, you can tell what I'm doing, but for those of you who are listening, not so much, and you just hear silence. Can you really hear silence? I don't know. So today, like I said, is Friday the 13th. And, that's always been like a, for people who are superstitious, like a bad luck day, don't let a black cat walk or, cross your path. Although you're not supposed to do that ever. You're not supposed to walk under a ladder. You're not supposed to step on a crack, all that kind of stuff, whatever, especially on Friday the 13th, though. So the history of Friday the 13th is one of the most enduring and widespread superstitions in Western culture. It's blending ancient numerology, religious symbolism, and modern storytelling into a single day associated with misfortune. See there? Although many people treat it lightly today, the belief that this date brings bad luck has surprisingly deep and layered roots. Okay. The superstition begins with the number 13, of course. Of course it does. Long viewed as unlucky in many traditions, historians point to the several possible origins, but one of the most influential comes from Norse mythology, where a banquet of 12 gods of Valhalla, I saw that movie, I think, was disrupted by the arrival of Loki, the trickster, as the 13th guest. His interference led to the death of the beloved god Balder, casting the number 13 as a symbol of chaos and sorrow. The story is frequently cited as a foundational source of the number's negative reputation. Well, all right. But separately, Friday developed its own reputation for misfortune. In Christian tradition, Friday was believed to be the day of Jesus's crucifixion, and over time it became associated with um, solemnity and bad luck. All right. Medieval and early modern Europeans often avoided beginning journeys or major tasks on Fridays, believing the day to be inauspicious. Well, I don't know, around here, Friday's a pretty good day, right? At least in America, it is. And right here in Chino Hills, too. It's a really good day. And it's Friday night, and we're live. It's date night with Ben. I'll continue. The fusion of these two ideas, Unlucky Friday and Unlucky 13, into a single ominous date is surprisingly modern. The superstition gained traction in the late 19th and early 20th centuries, helped by cultural moments such as the formation of the 13 Club, a group that deliberately challenged fears surrounding the number, and the publication of the 1907 novel Friday the 13th, which dramatized the chaos that could unfold on such a day. Modern sources note that the date's notoriety grew rapidly from this period onward, eventually becoming a staple of popular culture. In the 20th century, that's just the last one, 26 years ago. In the 20th century, Friday the 13th became even more deeply embedded in the public imagination thanks to, here it is, the horror film franchise that began in 1980. Although the movies have no historical connection to the superstition's origin, they cemented the date as a symbol of fear and suspense for new generations. Yes. 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 How about that? Those Friday the 13th movies are so good, right? How many of you out there have seen Friday the 13th? Any of them? There's what? There's got to be like, I don't know, 11 or 12 of them. Let me see. There was obviously the first one, and then there was the second one. And then, of course, there was, let me check my mic, make sure I didn't turn it off. Then, of course, there was the third one in 3D. Let's see, 4, 5, there was 6, there was 7, there was 8. I think, what was 8? I think 8 was Jason Takes Manhattan, I believe it was. Really? Then there was Friday the 13th, part 9. Jason goes to hell. He doesn't pass go, doesn't collect $200. He just goes straight directly to hell. Then there was Jason X. I think that was in like space or something like that. Then there was, what else was there? I think there was one where him and Freddy Krueger were fighting it out, Jason versus Freddy or something like that. Anyway, there was a whole bunch of Friday the 13th movies. I certainly like the first one and the second one. Friday the 13th part 3, that was in 3D. That was pretty cool. Yeah, I think that was pretty cool as well. There were some good kills in that. 4, I don't recall if I saw 4 or 5. I did see part 6, Friday the 13th part 6. That one was dubbed Jason Lives. Yes, of course he does. And then I know I didn't see 7 or 8. I never saw Jason Take Manhattan. I didn't. I don't know what he did. I don't even know how he got to Manhattan from Crystal Lake. What happened? Now, Friday the 13th, part 9, speaking of my radio heroes, Mark and Brian, they were in Friday the 13th, part 9. They were playing some sheriffs. They got killed. Yeah, they got their heads knocked together and their heads exploded by Jason. So, and then I never saw Jason in outer space. I don't know how he got in a spaceship anyway. I don't know how he ended up there. Yeah, so, and I never saw Freddy and Jason fight it out. So I guess I've probably seen nearly half of, I'm pouring myself some more hot cocoa here. I think I've seen nearly half of of the Friday the 13th movies. I really am not liking my hair here, but I'm just gonna leave it alone. Um, so yeah, so there's Friday the 13th. Now, you guys can leave in the comments or whatever your favorite Friday the 13th movie, or maybe even like a Friday the 13th superstition that you have or you don't have. I don't know, something like that. You know what? Hold on here. I'm gonna put some extra creamy whipped cream on this. Yes, I am, because the rest of it, I either I don't know, dissipated or I drank it, whatever you want to call it. Can you hear that? I don't know if you guys can hear that. Ah, yes. All right, cool. So cheers to you guys. There's my hot cocoa. You see the cream on or the whipped cream there? Yeah. Good stuff. So now what's tomorrow? Tomorrow is, yes, of course, tomorrow's Saturday. But tomorrow also is Valentine's Day. It let me see what I got here. What do I have here? Come on, pop it up. Pop it up. I'm trying to open something up here. There it is. There it is. So tomorrow is Valentine's Day, as we've established that already, right? Um, it's the day of love. And what do you do for the one that you love? Guys go get their wives or girlfriends, your best girl, whatever it is. You go get flowers. Maybe you get her some chocolates. Maybe you go to dinner, whatever it is. In regarding flowers, regarding roses, check this out. So now you guys have probably already made purchases on your flowers. You guys can tell me if I'm right on this, but it says here that overall Americans can expect to spend on average in America, $93.07 for a dozen roses. That's up 16% from 3 years ago. Now, it probably depends on where you buy your roses. If you go to, there's a big old giant moth flying around here. If you go to a florist, you're probably going to spend more than that. Florists always seem to jack up the price on flowers at Valentine's Day, at Mother's Day, I think on Easter, that kind of thing. So always on special days. So, yeah, now I'm looking here. Let's see the state with the lowest average cost for flowers was Indiana. Indiana had the lowest average cost for a dozen roses at $72. Massachusetts was the next least expensive at $75, which you would think that like on the East Coast, in Massachusetts, that'd be like really expensive because cold weather, it's up north, you're going to have to really ship those flowers. Even Indiana, you would think that it'd be more expensive, like in the middle of the country too. So in third was California at $78. And then crazy enough, Hawaii. What are we doing? Oh, that big old giant moth. I don't know if you actually hear it. It's like flying into the ceiling on my patio cover here. And it's like making some noise. Boom, 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 boom. But yeah, the state with the highest cost on a dozen roses at $127 on average is Hawaii, followed by Kansas and Texas, both tied at an average cost of $113 for a dozen roses. That's pretty crazy. I hear you over there. Moth. Yeah, so it's a lot of money. So I'll say this. Fortunately, I'm quite lucky. Catherine says, don't buy me any flowers at all because they're going to be dead in like 4 days and I'm going to throw them out. And she says, don't waste your money. So I'm lucky in that regard. So when I do buy her flowers, it's just because it's not for any special occasion or anything like that. But yeah, guys, if you haven't bought your flowers yet, be careful. But if you have, well, then you already have, and that's just the way it is. But a lot of couples, they want to go out to dinner on Valentine's Day. I think overall, now remember, this is my business too. I work in this industry, the food service industry, and the busiest days in the restaurants are Valentine's Day and Mother's Day. Those are the two busiest. Now, historically, and I've gone out on Mother's Day and I've also gone out on Valentine's Day as well. But historically, I don't, because I know what I'm in store for. And it's, it's just the way it is. It's just the way it is. Generally on Mother's Day and Valentine's Day, you're not going to get the greatest of service because restaurants are slammed. They're slammed with couples, they're slammed with families, and everybody's just rushing to get their stuff, get their tables taken care of, get those tables turned, and get the next party, in their seats. So it's just the nature of the beast, and that's why I generally do not like to go out on Valentine's Day. But tomorrow we are going to dinner for Valentine's Day. Let me scoot up here. Yeah, we're going to go out to dinner. The reason why I'm here out on the patio is, I hate saying this. Tessa's boyfriend just arrived this afternoon from England, flew in, and Tess picked him up. I don't know. They're out running around, running the streets or something right now. But he's staying here at the house. And as I've told you in the past, the studio doubles as a guest bedroom. So voila, I'm here on the patio at what, 50, probably still 58 degrees. It could be a little colder. So that's where I am right now. And we're going to go out to dinner. The four of us, we're going to go to dinner tomorrow night for Valentine's Day. It's okay. I don't mind. It'll be all right. We'll have a good time. And I'm hoping we have some good food. That's just, bottom line. That's the most important thing, is I just want to have some good food. So that's our plan. I think if I didn't say it, I'll say it now. He's going to be here for, I think, a week. Yep. A week. So I can't even get into the studio at all. So let me share this, the history of Valentine's Day. All right. Now, as we know, Valentine's Day is celebrated each year on February 14th. It has a history that blends ancient ritual, Christian tradition, medieval poetry, and modern commercial culture. No kidding. Its origins are surprisingly complex, and many of the stories people repeat today are more myth than they are fact. The earliest roots of the holiday trace back to ancient Rome, where mid-February was marked by Lupercalia. Ooh, that's pretty good. Lupercalia, a fertility festival involving rituals meant to ensure health and abundance. While colorful and dramatic, these pagan celebrations were not about romantic love. Over time, early Christian leaders attempted to replace such festivals with feast days honoring Christian martyrs, including one or more men named Valentine or Valentinus or Valentinus, something like that, who lived during the 3rd century CE. What's CE? I've heard of AD, I've heard of BC, but not CE. Okay. I'll have to look it up, or somebody can let me know. You guys can just let me know. Now, these figures were executed for defying, these Valentine or Valentinus figures. They were executed for defying Roman laws. In some stories, for helping persecuted Christians, in others, for secretly marrying young couples. So they weren't supposed to do that, I suppose, huh? No marrying couples. Although these tales are compelling, historians note that the connection between these martyrs and romance developed much later. By the Middle Ages, the date February 14th began to take on a new meaning in Europe. Medieval poets such as Geoffrey Chaucer helped popularize the idea that this day was linked to love, partly because it was believed to coincide with the start of the bird mating season. All right. Speaking of birds, I've got a dove on my porch sitting in her nest. She's got some eggs. Oh, it is bird mating season, definitely, because I have ducks in my backyard, mallard ducks. They swim in my pool, they get out, clean themselves up. I know the female, she laid eggs in my landscaping on my hillside next to the pool. And yeah, just like she did last year. I mean, we've had ducks every year for quite a few, but last year was the first time I saw ducklings, and we'll see what happens this year. Oh, so anyway, let's get back to whatever I was reading here. Let's see. Oh, yes, bird mating season. Whatever. You guys are like, shut up, dude. A poetic symbol of courtship and affection. Oh, yes, that's the bird mating season, a poetic symbol of courtship and affection. This literary tradition played a major role in transforming a religious feast into a celebration of romantic love. As centuries passed, Valentine's Day evolved into a folk custom in England where people exchanged small tokens, notes, and verses. By the 17th and 18th centuries, handwritten love messages became increasingly common. The Industrial Revolution later expanded the practice. Mass-produced cards, Hallmark, right? Printed illustrations, and eventually commercial gifts helped shape the modern holiday. Like jewelry, maybe? Yeah. Today, Valentine's Day is celebrated around the world as a day of affection, not only between romantic partners, but also among friends and family. While its ancient and religious origins remain part of its story, the holiday as we know it is largely a product of medieval imagination, cultural evolution, and modern commercialization. What began as a blend of Roman ritual and Christian remembrance has become a global celebration of love in all its forms, right? Oh, how sweet, how romantic. So tomorrow, give your loved one a little extra something, all right? A little extra love, a little extra hug. Now my hot cocoa is not so hot. Great. Little extra love, little extra hug, a few extra kisses, whatever. Take care of your husband or your wife or your boyfriend or girlfriend or your loved one, whatever. Take care of them. But not just tomorrow. Take care of them every day, you know? Yeah, I mean, It's Valentine's Day. It's the day of love. Well, we'll see how that all goes tomorrow, right? Next week, I'll let you guys know how dinner went. I'll probably let you know how our visitors' stay was too. Oh yeah. So again, yeah, I want to remind you guys, mark your calendars for March the 13th. Okay, that's the drunk show. And it'll be a live stream. It'll be in the studio. I'm working on getting some stuff happening out here on the patio at the same time that we're up in the studio taking care of business. I am working on some stuff. I don't want to say anything right now, but I'm hoping that it's gonna be real good. It's gonna be a lot of fun, and we'll see how it all plays out. Right? I'm looking forward to the drunk show because of the message behind it. Trust me, I'm not looking forward to drinking. Not at all. It's going to be horrible. I'm just letting you know. It's going to be terrible. So, yeah, just not looking forward to that. But whatever, it is what it is, right? We got to get it done. We have to send a message. And that's the way we do it around here at the Ben Maynard program. So, yeah, March the 13th, Friday, March the 13th. And, oh, check it out. That's 2 Friday the 13th in a row. Isn't that crazy? That's bananas. I just thought of that. 2 Friday the 13th, back-to-back months. That's awesome. So, it's cool. Look, I'll let you guys get out of here. I've had fun. I hope you've had fun too. But I wanted to just share a little bit with you in regards to the history of Friday the 13th and the history of Valentine's Day. Tomorrow being Valentine's Day, a little more special than Friday the 13th. But go and enjoy. Like I said, take care of your honey. All right. It's all good stuff. Again, as you guys know, this program is available wherever you get your podcasts, no matter where you get them. Just search the Ben Maynard program. Boom, it's right there. Go with it. Download it. Share it with all of your people, okay? And give me a 5-star review. But if you're watching this right here, just like you are tonight, because we're live, it's been date night with me. Short date though, right? So we're on YouTube here. Subscribe to the channel. All right. Hit the notification bell. Give me a thumbs up and leave a comment. All right. You got to do that. Come on. Then tell 1,000 of your family and friends about the Ben Maynard program. All right. Last but not least, follow me on Instagram. Simply Ben Maynard program, all one word, or where I'm a little more active, you can follow me on the TikTok, and that is at the Ben Maynard program. So that's it. We're done. Can't thank you guys enough for hanging out, being here, having some fun on Friday Night Live. Friday the 13th, date night with Ben. It's been great. I'll see you guys next time, all right? So behave yourselves, all right? Be good. This is the Ben Maynard program. Tell a friend.